Yo, what's going on, my little dragons? How are you feeling today? If you're feeling good, please let me know down in the comments below. Drop a like on this video, share this video with your friends and family, and don't forget to punch the subscribe button, as it will help your little dragon out so very much. Today, I'm going to be talking about something quite very it's a very interesting topic. So many people talk about it. So many people in my personal life have spoken about it. Of course, doing martial arts for this many years, every martial arts coach has said something different about it. But I just wanted to take, put my take, grasp all the information, absorb it all, filter out the bits that's useful to me, filter out the bits, extract the bits that are useful to me. And that's why I implement in my life. I disregard all this stuff that's not useful to me. It's not because it's useless information, but for me in my life, it's just not necessary. I just like to use what's actually useful, and yeah, get rid of the waste. And that's mainly what I focus on so much. And for years I've been, from childhood to teenage to now I'm in my 20s to 20s and so on in the future, what things are going to be like and how I behave and my attitude towards all of these things is definitely, for me, it's more than anyone else, it's definitely something that I will implement in my life that's very useful, and I will teach it when I have kids. I will teach it to my kids. I'll teach it to the people I love. So yeah, and you are obviously people I love, so I'm going to teach it to you, to tell you how I handle certain things and what's useful for me, and how I look at all of this stuff regarding street violence, street fighting, street defense. I presume you people are the good people, are the innocent people, the ones that are not involved in any street fights, are not the ones that are doing any crimes and directly a victim of a crime. You're not putting yourself in, stupid or vulnerable situations deliberately, or you ain't got any problems or any beef as such with anyone from like any people who get involved in that sort of stuff. You're probably just normal civilians who want to be safe, who want to live in a good area, that sort of people. And I guess a lot of you are young, so that's why I wanted to just teach you, or tell you, explain to you the stuff that is useful for me in different regards. So regarding martial arts, that's what I'm going to cover first. Talk about what your martial art is useful in street defense, street fighting, if you're mainly focused on that. Then I also wanted to talk about verbal diffusion, how you speak about it, how you bring the energy, bring the volume down, intensity of the situation, whatever the case may be, to bring it down using your voice, using your tone and your vernacular. And I also want to talk about emotional control, plus getting rid of your ego, and who you could go and tell, and who can come and sort out your problems, and just how to be safe, man, how to think, how to just use all your senses in a sensible way to be as safe as possible wherever you can. So that's the main focus of this video, my little dragons. And yeah, just want to share my experiences and my learning, my knowledge with you, my little dragons. So yes, let's hop right into it. Let's start with martial arts. Okay, martial arts. Now, a common thing that a lot of martial arts trainers will tell you is do not go to the ground. So learning any ground defense is useless because you shouldn't go to the ground. But I think I do accept it. I think going to the ground, of course, you're in a dangerous position, because if there's multiple people, as soon as you go to the ground, one guy is going to start kicking you and the other guys are going to jump in. And it's just not safe to go to the ground. But what if there is a situation where you're trying to get away, and you and your opponent, who may be just one person, both of you get to the ground? I think that knowledge can still be useful. So do learn something where you can, I think you should be able to know multiple things. You should be able to kick, you should be able to do some sort of ground defense, both to be able to fight off the ground, to get someone onto the ground, and to switch places. So you are standing up now, and then you can, that's easier for you to run. It kills a bit of time for that guy to get up and for you to run away, as well as being able to defend or hold someone in a safe way without causing any damage to that person. Restraining a person can be very, very useful, so that you are you don't accidentally, I guess, do something to that person that could make you end up getting into a lot of trouble with police or with teachers. All of this is self-defense, I'm saying. So if you do end up on the ground, you do need to get up off the ground. So you don't need to learn 100 things. I know there's so much information about groundwork itself. There's so many different chokes, so many different forms of submission that you can do to someone. There is so many different ways of ground and pound, and what you can do in terms of MMA, in terms of wrestling, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so many things. I think you only have to learn only a few ones. One, two. If you get on the ground, how do you get back up straight away? How do you bring the other person down? How to fight off the ground a little bit? How to do like a choke or something? And yeah, how to put someone to the ground and then you can get away, restrain. The basic stuff, but that shouldn't be your main goal to be on the ground. So the best striking martial arts, or the most predominant martial arts to help you in terms of striking and defense, and so that if you do go toe-to-toe with someone, how you can handle it, I think it definitely is boxing, man. Boxing teaches you all the stuff that you need to know. It teaches how to pace yourself, all the defense and all the drills that they do and the cardio exercises. Very, very practical for a street fight, that I believe. Everyone has their own belief. This is something that I believe and I've learned. I think boxing is the most useful in that sense. So if you want to, you should learn a lot of different martial arts, but if you're strictly focused on, you don't care about like tournaments and going forward and becoming a fighter, you just want to learn a martial art that puts you in the best position possible for street fights, street defense, then I think boxing is what you should put most of your effort into. Then other martial arts like Krav Maga, which is, I think that's mostly like what police and all that use. Krav Maga, which comes from Israel, it's very practical in terms of street fight, because they teach you how to like fight using your clothes, using your surroundings, how to strike straight away without anticipating. So yeah, so I think Krav Maga, out of the stuff that I know, that I've heard about, and boxing are like the most useful with the strikes, the defense and everything. And also do learn to do some ground defense, but it's not as important as the striking, defending martial arts. Yeah. So I'm predominantly a kickboxer. I know that I did karate, taekwondo, kickboxing, and kung fu. They're like the main ones. Then I did boxing and stuff. So out of these martial arts, I think kung fu, yeah, with the style that I learned, it's mostly to do with like style and just looking nice and pretty, and the forms all great. Taekwondo, very good for kicks, but yeah, high kicks, there is a chance that you may slip. You could pull a muscle if you're not like stretched. You never know when the fight's going to break out, man. So it's best to be able to use your punches, use what's most practical for you to use in the moment without even thinking. I think boxing is the best one to just come to you just straight away like that. So boxing is definitely what I would suggest you would go and learn and practice. And martial arts, I think everybody should have the knowledge of, because you never know what's going to happen. Someone could break into the house right now, anyway, you could be outside. You can't just always be in your house. I'm saying, like, it's the safest place, of course. Locked in your house is the safest place, but you do need to go out. You do need to go out to places. You do need to go to work and stuff. You do need to enjoy yourself. You need to go out with your friends. So something does happen. I think martial arts is definitely something that will put you above potential threats out there, and if you're really trained, then that's great. And it's also a fun thing to learn, especially if you're going to learn with your friends. It's always great, man. Sparring, everything, it's always fantastic. Tournaments are great. Tournaments really push yourself. That's why I like to compete as well. I don't want to compete because it's not that I want to go and become a fighter myself, but the reason I do compete is so that I know for sure that that martial art, I know, when I compete in kickboxing, I know that, okay, I can actually use this in a situation. Because in a competition, as opposed to doing sparring, when I'm sparring my coach, I'm sparring guys in my class, I'm sparring my friends. These people, of course, they care. They don't want to break my face. They do care. But when I'm fighting an opponent in a tournament, he wants to break my face. There's a whole crowd of people yelling and screaming for him to break my face. So I know that. So when I do know that, I understand that it puts me in that pressured moment, and I'm able to fight and that resilience does grow because of that. So and that's applicable when it comes to street fight, and yourself, you're confident in your own abilities because of that. So I do think like going to competitions and tournaments are very, very useful. But yeah, for street fight, that's what I'll say, boxing. Next thing is parkour. understanding and learning parkour. I know it's all like Jackie Chan stuff that I'm saying, like martial arts, parkour, mix it all together. But truthfully, that is like the ultimate way, because getting away from a fight is the first thought that you should have. You should be running away. And now we'll get to the running in a second, but if you can't run and there's like obstacles, you do need to know how to jump over, you know, climb on things. If you're able to jump off at a safer distance, safer height, if you're able to, and you know in yourself, if you do practice, then you should be able to jump, roll, if you know all of that stuff. That's why I practice that as well. Again, if there is a potential threat and some people are coming after you and you've got a problem and your only way out is to do a jump, don't blindly take a jump. Of course not. You should make sure you practice all these things. Same as what, and I said boxing, practice, 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 practice. Start small, start practicing like safety rolls, do a height that's actually small, and then jump over things that's small, learn a few like vaults and all that. Simple stuff, but effective stuff that you do need to do. That's not like the flashy things. The flashy side of all of these things you can learn, but I'm just talking about the practical stuff with all of this, which is to keep you safe within a street, any street conflict situation that you may have. So yeah, running away is, of course, that's great if you're able to run fast, breathe, pace yourself. I've spoken about this in a video, but so pacing yourself is important, running fast is important. What else is important? Running for a long period of time is important. So yeah, and then make running your best friend, and I think a lot of things will work out for you. But then if running isn't an option for you, then definitely go utilizing martial arts. The few things that I would tell you to go learn is, one is vaults. So there's speed vault, Kong vault, what is it? There's a side vault, lazy vault. There's all these vaults. The other vaults I really like, I use a lot. So that's my favorite one. Then height drops, jumping from height and then being able to roll. Do some safety rolls, and then when you do a height drop, you can take that roll. Then wall climbs, running up the wall and being able to climb. So you just run, throw your speed right directly at the wall. It deflects, you bounce up. So you take that momentum, forward momentum, and you make it upward momentum and enable yourself to climb up a wall really easily. That's actually pretty easy to learn. I'd say, you know, you just have to put your speed and know how to like put your, you know, put your foot down and then just deflect and throw yourself on top. And yeah, you could do a few steps before you can reach the top. And the higher it is, the higher you can do this, it will definitely, and that could put the biggest distance between you and your attackers, so you can easily get away, man. And strides and jumps, you should, if you can, get better at that. That is also great, and that is also great. So yeah, definitely practice these things in your free time if you can. It's going to be wonderful for you if you're able to incorporate all these things. Of course, you can do something cool and flashy, but again, learning this with your friends. If you can have like 3-4 of your friends, all of you learn martial arts, all of you learn parkour at the same time, it's great, man. If you have nothing to do, definitely go and learn these things, because it's always great. I would always say, like, martial arts is always great, man, especially when you start at a younger age. There's every kickboxing, you know, my martial arts class, a lot of kids come to that class, and some of them don't really take the information that seriously, because obviously for them, that age, they don't really want to take it seriously. In that class, you know, I look at them as a younger sibling. I'm like an older brother towards them, and as an older brother, I want them to be good fighters, man. I want them to learn this information at this age, however old they are, what, 6-7 years old. From this age, because they don't have that prior experience, so for them, if they start now, so even when something does happen and they flinch, their flinch won't be like that. They would actually flinch like they're ready to go into something, you know, they're ready to take their stance and then to be able to do something, you know, when they get older. So when they do get older and their bodies get stronger, you know, when they get that adult strength and prime strength when they're older, now when you mix it with the knowledge that they have, what they've like trained their body to do, muscle memory, stretching, all of these things that they could do at that young age, when you mix them together, it makes them freaking, you know, they'll be dangerous. Nobody want to mess with them. So that's great. So that's why I always wanted them to be good fighters. Not just me. Their coaches want them to be good fighters. Their parents want them to be good fighters. When they used to see me train, their parents used to tell them, you know, look at Rishi, that's how you should train, that's how you should train. And they even asked me, like, if he doesn't do any work, yell at him and tell him off and make sure he does the work and stuff. So yeah, it's programming this at a younger age is much better. But you know, you can't do anything about it. If you learn it at a later age, if you're just finding out things now, it is what it is, I guess, you know. But it's always best now than it is later. So the earlier you start, of course, it's the best for you. If you can start, or if you are a parent, or if you have any younger siblings for martial arts, definitely start teaching them or send them to martial arts class. It doesn't cost that much. It's affordable. It's only £5 per lesson. A lot of classes are, and beginning, you don't have to go into the best class in the world to begin with. You know, start it off, understand it, get a feel for it, and then step it up, step it up, step it up. And I do think, you know, I think everyone knowing the knowledge of how to fight and stuff to protect yourself, protect your loved ones, protect your possessions, very, very, very crucial that you do. And it will be very useful because you never know. It's unpredictable when something will happen. So it's always good to know. So that's what I wanted to say. So learning some sort of martial arts is great. Martial arts is not a bad thing. Becoming a good fighter, when I say fighting, it's not a bad thing. I think becoming a good fighter is the most optimal thing you can be in life. Confidence, one, social, two, self-confidence. So like confidence is one thing, like how you can be in a situation and how to handle a situation, but at the same time, you being comfortable under your own skin is another different kind of, it takes a different level of thinking and being, and this helps you do so, you know. And I think that if you can fight in front of people, if you can be in the ring where people are yelling and booing at you and people here are supporting you, you have all of this on your shoulder, you know, like you have it all on your shoulder, like what people think. You don't want to disappoint anyone, you don't want to get knocked out, so you do need to defend. At the same time, you need to win the fight. All of these things that come into your mind, and if you're able to handle that, I think in a lot of places you should be fine. You know, normal social situations, you should be fine. And it helps people like you more, people admire you more, and it's always great, man. So martial arts is wonderful to learn, and it helps you with a lot of different things. But yeah, definitely in like a street situation, you will be one step, or many, many, many steps ahead of anybody that may be imposing a threat onto you. So yeah, that's one way to say, man. So yeah, sports, running is important, martial arts is important, parkour is important. Using obstacles and being able to use weapons, that's what I would do. My mind straight away goes into weapons. So utilize weapons, use what you can to protect yourself. But this information is only to protect yourself and not for any other bad reasons. You're not the attacker, you are we don't want to be the victims. We're not the criminals. We're not trying to do anything harm to anyone. We're trying to live our lives, be normal, be nice, share loves, spread love. Anything that comes our way that's maybe in a negative, we do need to eliminate ourselves from that situation, or we need to eliminate that situation completely, which is by using your running, parkour, or martial arts abilities. So that's what I want to say in this video. Now the next things is verbal diffusion. You know, you need to work on your vernacular, and a lot of times, a lot of friends that I've had, a lot of them don't really care. You know, when they talk to me as their friend, the vernacular, the choice of words, it doesn't really change when they talk to a random person, and this sometimes gets them in trouble. So what they need to understand is you need to know how to talk to people. You need to know how to verbally diffuse. Usually when you keep your volume low, but you make eye contact and you speak, and there's a science behind this. I'm not really too sure, but if you keep like an open palm when you speak to somebody, it shows like you're not potentially showing any potential harm to someone. So yeah, so use all of that to your advantage, and yeah, keep a soft tone, be nice, just nod. So if you make eye contact with someone, just nod and then look away. Stuff like that is very, very, very crucial and important. Yeah, please, thank you, these things. So anytime that any conflict can arise, you want to understand it. You want to use your intelligence first beforehand. You don't want to make it so it's too late. You don't want to, really annoy someone and then worry about how to diffuse it. Diffusion starts from the beginning. But yeah, if you talk to people in a very respectful manner, then they tend to talk to you like that back. I've seen people that, they don't do the right things in life. The way they dress and the way they live their life, they may not have the facilities and the lifestyle that they would want to. And sometimes some of them are sad about it, and some of the people are angry at the other people that do get that fortunate in life. So when that person, tries to yell something at you and start some sort of issue with you on the street. It's happened. Of course, it's happened. People have said something to me. As long as he's in a distance, I can, if it's in a distance where I can just look away because I know he's not going to get here in time and it's not going to be a good idea for him and it's not worth me saying anything to him, then I can just walk away. But if it's right next to me, I'll be like, I'll just say something within the situation. I can't really prescribe you anything that I would say in that situation because every situation is different. Sometimes it's what the best move is. I guess the best move sometimes is just to ignore it and just to look at them and walk away. Sometimes it's just to talk to them nicely and, you know, say, I'm not trying to cause any trouble. That's it, in a nice way as possible. If they ask a question, it depends, and it completely depends. I can't really. I'm trying to think of any situation that I can give you. One guy was. It was weird. There's loads of weird like incidences. One guy was just telling me like, "Oh, I've been this far. I'm the boss man on the street or something," and he was homeless. He had a little dog with him, and he was just saying something. He was a bit drunk. So I was like, oh, okay, he's like, yeah, cool man. He's like, yeah, safe blood. I was like, all right, no problem. That's it. And I was by myself that day, so yeah, it was in the night. So of course we're not there you go. But I knew where he was. You know, I was very aware of, okay, he's here, everything's good. You know, I'm gonna speak to him, and as I talk to him, I'm gonna edge towards the other side of the road, and then I'm gonna just walk away. And if he yells something again, I'll just thumbs up, and that's it. We get to walk away. So that was the right move that I felt in that situation. There was another situation where someone yelled something racist at me and through the car, but the car was going this way. It went past me. So for that situation, it was easy for me to just ignore it and walk away. So yeah, being smart is very important, and what the right move is in different situations, only that is something for you to decide in that situation. But yeah, being respectful towards people and, you know, being polite and saying like, please, thank you. Sometimes that could be a problem. When I was working in a shop, that was a problem because one of my boss, when he was talking, he didn't say please or thank you, and he came across as quite rude, and this lady was yelling at him. So that sort of stuff. So you wanted to slow it down. You want to be rude to anyone. I think the best thing I could say is be polite as much as you can. Do not argue. If it does go into a situation where you do have to hit someone, then, you know, do what's necessary in that situation. But that should be a last resort. That's what I wanted to say in this video, man. Is there anything else I wanted to say? Yeah, and also, you know, being self-aware on the streets. You know, don't have your earphones in with music blasting into your ears. Don't wear your shades in the middle of the night. You want to have your senses. You know, your eyes and your ears are the most powerful senses. Your ears are very, very powerful because you can hear things from anywhere. You would know where something is, and if something was to creep up behind you, right, and if it's in the dark, you know, really your eyesight might not be as great, but your ears are very, very important in that situation. So do not obstruct your two senses, your two important senses. And then your voice and how you talk to people, that's the next important thing. But if nothing you can do, then yeah, run away or do what you can to avoid any form of injuries. Yeah, man. But yeah, once again, I'm saying that I do not support any sort of street fighting or street violence. I hate violence. Violence in movies is good. Violence in sports, boxing, UFC, these things are good. That's it. So it should be done in sports, or it should be done in films, or it should be done in games. These are where people can admire violence, but in real life, no, none of these things should ever be supported. All of the information that you should learn in terms of fighting, because no matter what, how great anybody is, and you can't eliminate, you know, street fights and all that stuff ever. I'm lucky enough, I've never actually seen any violence. I've only seen one next to, there was this line of shops, and there was like three boys on a motorbike, and they were chasing one guy, and he was running around. They closed off all the shops, the corner shop, the newsagents, all of that. They closed it and locked it up. I think one of them may have rang the police, and there was a chicken shop there. So then the boy ran into the chicken shop. Obviously from where I was standing, I didn't see beyond that, but I just saw the other guy. He pulled out a knife and he ran into the shop behind him. So that was it. I couldn't see anything beyond that. And obviously I'm not going to pull out my phone and call the police, because I'm like I'm right next to these people. So I didn't want anything to divert towards me. But I presume there's a lot of people there, and someone may have called the police. I was out of there. So I just walked away, and I was basically out of there because they weren't interested in me. They were interested in what they were going through. So that happened. One time, some guy was riding his motorbike, like where this park was. This guy is just a stupid guy riding his motorbike, and another even stupider guy went and he started saying something to him. Apparently, this is what I know because the person that said something to him, he actually died because the other guy hit him with the knuckle disc. So, and I know someone that knew that incident, and he told me about it. And he was like, this is what happened. He went and he started talking. I was like, why did you go and talk to him about that, man? There was literally no need for you to do that. And yeah, see it like that could happen again. That's what I'm saying. Like, you don't know what people are capable of. You don't know what people their intentions are, and especially if they're wearing a helmet or a mask, you really do not want to have any sort of connection or interaction with that person. Because yeah, that's putting another layer on top of them to say, and it's putting that barrier for anyone to catch them. That's why I don't risk that stuff, man. Yeah, you could call the police, but again, really, let's think practical. How are the police going to get there in time or something like that? If you're going to call the police, that's great. Don't you get yourself involved in that situation. Call the police and then just get out of there. That's what I'm saying. You don't want anything to divert towards you. Your safety, there's nothing more important. There's nothing more important to me than me being safe. So that's my first priority. Yeah, if something was happening, then I do need to call the police. I do need to think about my safety. But I would just like note down the street's name. If something was happening, let's just say somebody was getting attacked and I'm seeing it, what I would necessarily do, and I know 100%, okay, this situation is happening, I would exit. I would make sure I'm out of there as far as possible. And I'll just know if I can memorize what the road is or something, or the location, I'll go call the police and tell the police straight away. But I'd still be moving. I would never like stop and call the police and have a look and all that stuff that they do in movies. Never, man. That's not how I do things, man. I would just call it if there was no one around to call the police. Of course, I do like people to be helped. I presume the guy who's getting attacked may be an innocent person. So yeah, of course, that person does need help. But of course, my safety is the most important thing. And that's what I'm trying to tell you, man. Your safety is number one. Then help other people when you can. Your safety and the people of your acquaintance, your mum, your dad, if you're with them, if you're with your friends, whoever you're with, their safety is just as important. And yeah. So that's what you need to focus on, man. Yeah, but so boxing is definitely very important to learn martial arts, any martial arts that you find effective. Plus parkour, plus being able to run, pace yourself, run fast, run for long distance without getting tired, and be able to actively recover and then boom, shoot again. And another one, to be able to scream loud. But again, if you want to scream, do not, I forgot to mention one more thing in one of my last videos. I talk about screaming. So it's very important, like if you're able to scream, that's a good exercise to have, so that if something was to happen, you do scream. But again, you need to be smart with that, because if you scream when the attention is not on you, now you're trying to draw the attention on you, which is obviously silly. But if the attention's already drawn on you, now you have no way to get out, then use your energy to scream and to get the attention of other people. But again, I'm saying, like, a lot of people wouldn't call the police when they're right next to you. If they're in a distance or they're from their house, if there's houses nearby, people can see it, then yes, people will call the police. And of course, they will know what street they're on, so it's easier for the police to get there. If you're new to a different area, you might not know, or if there's other people just walking. A guy who's walking probably doesn't know what road it is and all that, but I presume the people that live around that area would know what the place is, so yeah, do that. If you can quietly run away and escape, or if somebody's following you home, something like that, you could just go knock on someone's door. You could go into a shop and tell them to call the police for you and sort the problem out that way. Of course, calling the police and sorting the problem out this way is the most important to you. Same as in school, teachers, forget your ego. I think you should go and complain to them. If there's something at work, you should go to your managers, go to your bosses and complain to them. That's what they're for, If you have your security at work, go and tell them. Those people to talk to things about. And at work, it's even better because there's like cameras and all of that to sort the problem out. If anyone makes any threats, then in my workplace, things like that has happened. One person has made threats to another person, so they have been banned from that area. So things, so there's things that can help you in every aspect of this. So yeah, so being safe is the number one most important thing. Don't go to anyone's trouble. Do not argue with anyone. Do not try to prove your point to anyone. It's completely useless. Yeah, always be on the safe side. Always be a good person. Always be a respectful person. But at the same time, don't be a pushover. Hold your ground. Hold your own. Be strong and be confident in yourself, and handle a situation correctly and make the moves based on what's right. And this comes with practice, and this comes with training. When you train like martial arts, when you train stuff, it will help you learn all of these things. But yeah, martial arts is wonderful. Try to start martial arts as early as possible. And if you have any kids, children in your house, send them to martial arts class so they can grow up with that art, man. That art is like their best friend. There's something sacred about martial arts. I always feel that way. So if it grows with you, it stays with you as a friend, your abilities, because your body is always going to be with you throughout your whole life. So you and your own abilities to be able to use it in combat, so your body is combat ready, becomes that weapon, then fantastic, man. And if it comes and travels with you throughout your younger years. I started martial arts when I was 9 years old, and I'm very, very happy and grateful to do that. I started with karate, did that for a few years, and when I got my black belt, then I didn't train as a black belt, I just got my black belt. Then I stopped doing karate, then I moved to like kickboxing, taekwondo. I did taekwondo for a bit, and then I fully learned kickboxing, and then kung fu, and then boxing. Bits of wrestling, bits of all of that, but yeah, mostly kickboxing is what I mostly use. So kickboxing is my most useful martial arts. Even though I just said that boxing will be the most useful. Kicking for me, it's like I find it easier to do more than punches. I feel like I have more control with the kicks, and I can exude a lot more power within my kicks than I can with my punches. The vitality of my kicks and the force and all of that, it's much greater than my punches, I feel. But yeah, speed is one thing that I do rely on the most. So yeah, man, yeah, that's great, man. So that's why I wanted to say it in this video. Just I won't say it my way. You can take it how you want to take it. If it's useful for you, let me know, man. And if you guys are learning any martial arts, tell me down in the comments, man, what martial arts was useful for you. What martial arts do you like the most? A lot of people, I live in the UK, a lot of people here do learn boxing. They love boxing. But for some reason, a lot of people don't like sparring too much in boxing. I don't know why. Well, I guess they don't want to, they don't want to get their nose broken and all that. But it's like anything else. You want to start small. You want to practice. You're not going to break your nose if you know how to defend, if you know how to roll and all that stuff. It's going to be, it's fine. And it's only, you're going to get hit. There's no other way around it, bro. In boxing, you will get hit. In martial arts, you will get hit. You're not going to make it through without getting hit. But you'd rather know how to get hit and how to recover quickly and what to do. And it won't shock you. When you get hit in the face, it won't shock you at all when you're learning in class, when you're learning in a tournament, when you're fighting. But then that will carry forward when you're in the, if a street fight does occur. Now you would immediately be ready. You will know how to look around you. If you're not scared, you'll be able to consciously and meticulously look at things around you. Pay attention to, what can I run that way? Okay, I can quickly sort this guy out, hit him. If he's on the floor, run straight away. There's that alleyway I can make it through. There's something I can run, climb up. All of these things, for you to stay calm in a situation, training will do that for you. So yeah, definitely get involved in martial arts. That's something, if there's anything that you want to take from this video, I would say definitely get involved in martial arts, man. Yes, my little dragons, man. Thank you so much for watching. Links to my martial arts videos and all that will be down in the description below. So go and check that out. Hopefully that somewhat inspires you and gives you a few ideas of how I train and the things I do. And yeah, if it inspires you to go start martial arts and learn some stuff, parkour as well, let me know, man. Let me know. Wonderful, man. Wonderful. Thanks so much for watching, my little dragons, man. If you love this video, don't forget to drop a like. Don't forget to share. Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And if you agree with me or disagree with me, that's fine. I would love to hear what you guys have to say. So drop it down in the comments and I will read it. And we can interact like that, man. And my little dragons, if you love me. And you love my chain. And you want to be a little dragon. And you want me to be your little dragon, man. Don't forget to punch that subscribe button. as it will help your little dragon out so very much, man. I love you all. You are all amazing. You are all awesome, man. Stay home, stay safe, stay blessed, stay awesome, my little dragons. And I will see you all in the next video.